Welcome to Behind the Lines, coming to you from the socialist, Marxist lines of Washington State. It's a crazy liberal petri dish for the rest of the country, folks. Stay up to date with all the great news right here. Hey everyone, well today is Thursday, January 28th, and Mr. Inslee still in the process of having a press conference, but the long and short of it is the west side of the state, most of it, is going to get to move to phase 2 of his Healthy Washington plan starting on Monday. And he made some changes to this phased reopening announced in this press conference. Under the new plan, regions will only be required to meet 3 of the 4 public health metrics to move to the next phase. Originally, he was requiring all 4 metrics be met before they could move forward. So those metrics are a trend in the 14-day rate of new COVID cases per 100,000 population, less than 10% or more. A trend in 14-day rate of new COVID-19 hospital admissions per 100,000, less than 10% or more. Average 7-day percent occupancy of ICU staff beds, less than 90%. And a 7-day percent positive of COVID-19 tests, less than 10%. Under the new plan, the West region, which includes Grays Harbor, Pacific, Thurston, and Lewis counties, and the Puget Sound region, which includes Snohomish, King, and Pierce counties, are eligible to move to Phase 2 on Monday. Phase 2 will allow a return to indoor dining at 25% capacity and allow some loosening of restrictions on outdoor gatherings, entertainment and sports competitions, weddings and funerals, and indoor fitness centers and gyms. The sports competitions does not include school sports. Those fall under their own set of rules to do with school, and he did not go into that. Also, instead of evaluating a region's metrics every week, as is right now, starting Monday, they'll be evaluated every 2 weeks to get a more stable look at health, he says. So, some good news. Some of these restaurants can get back to open at 25% capacity. Of course, that's still going to be difficult on restaurants to pull a profit with only 25% capacity, but it's progress. And, he's saying it's because of these downward trends that we're showing. It seems like just in the last few days, he was talking about, how this is all, you see on the news too, that it's all still terrible. The new strain of the virus is here, the hospitals are full, and now all of a sudden there's a downward trend. And I think really more likely the reason this happened is because Democratic lawmakers have been putting pressure on Inslee to reopen, to get these businesses back to work. A lot of the Democratic lawmakers have businesses or were business owners, and I'm sure they've been getting a lot of pressure from their constituents that we need to go back to work. We need businesses to be open. People are losing their lives, literally. And, this is exactly why the guy didn't want to have a special session in 2020, because he didn't want to have to deal with this pressure from his lawmakers, from his own party. And now that they're back in there, finally we can get some movement on this whole thing. Of course, he had to throw in the threats that we can regress back to phase 1 if things change. And of course, he had to complain about the federal government not, sending enough vaccines to get the vaccinations out there, and yada, yada, yada. Continue to social distance, continue to wear your mask. Also said that we need to win the Super Bowl on February 7th, not the coronavirus, and that people should try to have virtual Super Bowl parties instead of getting together. So at least we're moving forward, right? At least we're getting somewhere, some of us. The east side of the state, I feel bad for you. I don't know why you've been left out. You guys are the ones that have all these mass vaccination centers and everything. And I don't know about Southwest, Vancouver and that area down there of Washington, why apparently your metrics are not up to Mr. Inslee's standards, or your reps didn't fight hard enough for you to be open. So just to put some perspective on this, story came out yesterday, a study done by a company called Wallet Hub that looked at over a dozen COVID-19 restrictions at all 50 states, and Washington actually is the sixth most restrictive state as far as regulations go out of all 50 states. In particular, they said Washington has the third most restrictions on reopening restaurants and bars, fourth most restrictions on large gatherings, and is also above average regulation of non-essential businesses and travel restrictions. And per the study, the top 10 most restrictive states: California, Virginia, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., New Mexico. Washington comes in number 6, and then it's Vermont, North Carolina, Hawaii, and Illinois, rounding out the top 10. So hopefully this is a start to get us back onto track. We need to get back to work. People need to get back to their lives and socializing and having some sense of normalcy. We're going on almost a year of this garbage. Anyway, folks, a little bright spot, something to look forward to for next week. Everybody can maybe go out and get a drink and have a sit-down meal and support your local business. Let's get things back on track, and let's keep putting pressure on lawmakers to do the right thing. Your phone calls and letters, they do make a difference. The local people you've elected to represent you at the state, they will listen. They do care because they want to keep being elected, so their constituents need to be happy. The governor might not listen to us, but they will, and they'll put pressure on him. So do your part and let them know what you think. Be professional, don't be threatening, but let them know how it is. All right, folks, I hope you have a good day and be safe out there. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Behind the Line podcast. I hope you will subscribe to the channel so you can get regular updates. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, I hope you will also like it, share it, and subscribe on YouTube as well. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Spreaker. We're on various other podcast platforms. And you can find me on LinkedIn under John Washington. Again, thank you for listening. We appreciate your support.